everybody. Welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I'm Kelly Hogan, and I actually have two guests here today, which I've never tried doing this. It feels like a party in here. I am here in person with Brandon Crouch. Brandon has a podcast, Appetite for Discussion, and I went on his show a little more than a month ago.
That's right.
Yeah, I had a great time. So his podcast is not even actually nutritionally based, even though it does have the word appetite.
That's right.
Which may be why I originally agreed to it.
Sucker.
And then I did some listening. I was like, okay, so this is not about nutrition, but that's cool. The fact is, it's a really open-minded place to discuss everything. And you know it's open-minded because he had on a carnivore. That's pretty wide open. And with me today, I have Laura Spath. Laura is, as many of you already know, she's huge on YouTube. Oh my gosh, Laura, your videos. I sit and drool when I look at how many people watch your stuff. It's good. I'm watching too with like my bacon. Like, man, this is really good. So Laura Spath started off keto. She was keto for 2 years, and then about 19 months ago, switched over to an all-meat carnivorous diet, and has been helping people ever since. And today's topic is helping out new little fresh carnivores.
Baby carnivores.
Little baby carnivores. Because my friend Brandon here, when I did go on the show, you said you had not even really heard about carnivore until somebody said, hey, you should interview.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, well, I'm really scared to do this, but I'm going to go on here and just wave my little freak meat flag and throw myself out here on general media. And then you said at the end, Laura, he totally surprised me with this because he said, you know what? I think I'm going to give it a shot. I was like, what? Really? I did not know that's where it was headed at all. And in my mind, I'll be honest, I was like, okay, right? Okay. Because I was looking at him in that moment. It's not like you were morbidly obese or having any real health problems, just kind of a normal guy who was curious.
Yeah.
Carnivore
curious.
Yes. I recently heard that phrase, carnicurious. I was like, I like that. So, Laura, you've been doing this now for almost 2 years as far as carnivore. And I've been carnivore. I came to carnivore through low carb and a standard American diet. 10 years ago, you were coming from a standard American diet, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like he has weaned himself down like a lot of us did. That's what I'm really curious about. How does a dude eating a normal diet get to carnivore? Like, how did that go? Isn't that cool to hear? I don't really hear that all that often. Do you, Laura?
I think that people are starting to do it more because people know about carnivore or zero carb. But like when I started, I didn't even know that it was an option to not eat vegetables. And so I started eating vegetables like you thought you were supposed to. So I love hearing stories of people that just jump straight into zero carb now. I wish I would have done that myself.
Oh my gosh, the hardest 5 years of my life was low carb. And people are like, but you lost so much weight. Like, yeah, I did lose weight. The struggle was real though, because I was just craving all the time. And then it didn't get good until 10 years ago when I cut out the plants. All right, so you started a month ago. It was the month of February.
The month of February. Correct.
Okay. And you went from eating basically anything you wanted, although with a trying to be healthy-ish, right?
Yeah, I've always tried to eat what I call clean or try to eat right or well.
Okay.
But like I said when you're on the show, I'm a chip monster. I love eating potato chips.
Okay.
So I've not had a potato chip in a month. And I will say all the kudos goes to my wife. Thank you, honey, Kristen Crouch, because she actually did the month with me. And
That's
she's
impressive.
Lost 10 pounds. She is looking very fine, sexy. Yeah, she posted some pics last night. Went to a charity benefit, and she looked great.
Awesome.
And she felt great.
Good.
So without her and being creative and looking on your blog and learning about different carnivore friendly or approved recipes,
Yes.
the struggle would have been real, and this would have been even more of a challenge. It really wasn't that big of a challenge anyway.
Okay.
But it would have been difficult for me, I think, to get to the finish line.
Were you biting nails at times though? Like, really?
No. I mean,
The cravings were not hard.
so I haven't had any cravings. It's really weird.
What?
No, that's what I was telling my wife. I don't have anything, like, if, let's say that I fell off the wagon, if I was going to go get something,
Yeah.
I would probably go to Burger King and get a Whopper. So I'm going to eat meat anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you first started, Laura, going to keto versus going to carnivore, which one do you think was the hardest transition?
I mean, I was the same as you. When I was keto, luckily, I was keto before and always yo-yoed. I could lose weight on keto, then I would have a cheat day and gain it all back again. Because I was never satisfied. I would always be craving stuff, so I'd always have a cheat day. And so even when I was keto, I was always using the keto sweets and the treats and stuff. So it wasn't until cutting that stuff out that really the cravings started to go away, and I was able to stay on it and stop having cheat days and not want to bounce back up again.
When you switched to carnivore, did you get rid of your cravings pretty quickly?
I think for me, there's a difference between physical cravings and emotional cravings. Like, I don't deal with physical cravings anymore. I still deal with emotional food. Like, I'm having a stressed out day. I'm having a bad time. I want to eat something to make me feel good as an emotional reaction. And that's just from 20 years of emotional eating that I'm still trying to work on. But I'm not sitting here going like, physically, I want a cookie. It's, sometimes I just deal more with like stress triggers that mental need to want to snack on something. And it's easy for me to overcome that now, or easier than it was before. But that's what I'm still trying to distinguish, is the difference between those physical and emotional cravings. But definitely no physical cravings anymore, ever.
Is that not amazing? I mean, seriously, it's like having a huge weight tied around you your whole life with this horrible sweet tooth. That's what I had. And then one day somebody's just like, and it's gone.
What I have physical cravings for now is steak. When I'm eating, traveling and eating too many burger patties or restaurants or fast foods, what I just really start craving and just really wanting is a home fresh grilled ribeye.
I completely agree. So, people are always like, oh, Kelly and those meat cookies. Yes, they're great on like a day-to-day lunch basis. I do eat them for lunch because I'm at school. I don't have a lot of time. I'm not taking ribeyes and sitting down with like, tablecloths between classes. I'm just shoving in some burger patties, right? But when I have time to eat, there is nothing like a ribeye. So what did you mostly eat this month?
We mostly had steaks. We had a lot of steaks. We did have some seafood. My wife made a list
good
of
woman.
groceries that we purchased.
Okay.
Or she purchased. We had a lot of eggs,
hamburger
patties, beef roast, or when you put it in the pot and season it and all that. A lot of the Mickey D patties. That was great.
And you're still alive.
I'm still alive.
It's amazing, really.
One day I was struggling, but pork rinds saved my life and other people's lives.
Especially if you're used to eating chips all the time, then that's a really good replacement. It's like a bridge food, right? So maybe you shouldn't snack on pork rinds forever, but in the beginning, that's an amazing food choice when you're like, I'm going to eat chips or I'm going to eat pork rinds. Perfect choice.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Nice. Yeah. I haven't been a brand new carnivore in a long time, but when you're pregnant in carnivore, you feel like it. You feel like you're a brand new carnivore again because your tastes are off, your cravings are weird. You want things that you don't normally want. And so for me, pork rinds when I was pregnant in pimento cheese, but without the actual pimentos, oh my word. I would just pick out the pimentos. I don't know. I was pregnant. Don't judge.
Are the pimentos bad?
I just don't eat plants, but it's a small amount. It's not like I was eating spoonfuls of pimentos, but I feel like sometimes that if a tiny speck of plant were to pass my lips, someone would find out and this whole carnivore gig would be up. So
that's right.
So I picked out my pimentos like a good carnivore would, even when I was pregnant. Do you ever dip your pork rinds in anything?
You know what? Over the holidays, it was definitely like a lot of like summer sausage or salami and pork rinds and cheeses. That was my like fancy holiday treat. I got to be careful because I'll just start snacking on it too much when I'm not hungry at all. So I try to save that for like a special occasion or a treat, or if I'm on vacation, but not like an everyday thing. But those are really great options when you're new too.
And sour cream. I've heard a lot of people say hot sauce with sour cream and pork rinds. Look, if you are right now a 7-year carnivore and you are like, pansies. What are they eating sour cream for? Look at this face. This is a new guy, right? We're speaking a little bit more to the new guys. And if they need their sour cream and their pork rinds and their hot sauce, you let them have it, people, because it's better than chips and ice cream and pure garbage. You know what? I've seen plenty of carnivores, though, who stick with sort of what we call a little bit more loose version of carnivore, where it's not steaks every day. They do have their sour cream and pork rinds alongside of a big old ribeye. And, okay, fine with me, right?
Yeah, we were in Fort Lauderdale. That was probably the most challenging part. We went on vacation and we stayed on the carnivore diet the whole time we were there, which was not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But we pigged out on pork rinds and watched Netflix when it was raining. And but we went and had seafood one night, and we had shrimp and hot sauce and sour cream. It was almost like you're eating, buffalo.
That's awesome,
Buffalo
man.
shrimp. And the other interesting part too was you couldn't drink a beer on the beach.
Oh, yeah. So Brandon is normally a beer drinker. And for the month of February, he wasn't. And that was hard, right?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, the only challenging part of this month was when we were on vacation. Because, if you're sitting on the beach, I would drink a beer. But not this time. That was the only part about it. Everything else is easy. I was never hungry. I stayed full, ate twice a day. I've lost 15 pounds. Zero bloating. None.
Oh.
No bloating whatsoever.
And you've been able to poop?
How
do you poop when you're carnivore?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. Speaking of the poop, it is different. I mean, you can't not talk about, because that's when people ask me about it, that's when, obviously, you guys know that's our first question. But I did come up with a rule. Actually, 2 rules I learned during carnivore. Okay. Rule number 1, never trust your butt. Ever. Ever. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Wait, even still, or just in the beginning?
I still today don't trust my butt.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But I'm still early. You guys can probably trust yours. Otherwise, you're going to be in a mess. A friend of mine texted me on his second day and said, I pooped myself.
What?
Yes. So it can happen.
Dang.
Okay?
Okay.
Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1.
This is true.
So, I don't know about you, Laura, but I don't have any bathrooming issues either way. It's not like I'm going too easily and I'm pooping myself. And it's not difficult when I go. I feel like everything is just nice and normal as it should be.
That way now, for sure. But in the beginning, definitely, I had some major issues in the beginning. So I think it's kind of the same thing. I definitely abided by rule number 1 and rule number 2
Yes.
for the first 6 months, for sure.
Okay, so you're thinking that the first few to several months.
Yeah, I think it's different depending on what kind of diet you were coming from. And honestly, I welcomed it as a joyous celebration, to be honest, because I had spent 5 years previously never being able to go and having such major negative health issues. I was seeing a surgeon to potentially have surgery to help fix some, issues. And so I welcomed it as a wonderful relief and change from what I'd been previously dealing with. But I definitely agree. It just depends on what you're coming from. It does adjust, though, over time.
That's good to know. I never had a lot of bathroom type issues to start with, and it wasn't a major difference for me, but I do know from talking to thousands of people that that's pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it does resolve it. So
the other part too is gas. No gas. Yep. I am known by my family and friends to be a gassy little man.
You are all so welcome. You're welcome, everyone.
You're welcome. I mean, when I used to work in the hospital, the janitor had a bottle and he called it Brandon spray. Oh, that was horrible.
Wow.
Not anymore. There's nothing.
I'm so happy for your entire family right now.
Well, they are too.
That's cool. I am not a gassy person.
That, though. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Wonderful side effect.
That is wonderful.
So yeah, but the bloating is great. And as a matter of fact, my doctor, who I go see, I did have lab work done before and after. It's a little elevated, but we expected that.
Yeah.
And he is a gastroenterologist, and he is actually going to maybe start doing carnivore to see if it helps him with his bloating. He's going to give it a try.
I just think our whole hometown just needs to convert. Just make my life so much easier if y'all could all just join in. That's awesome.
Your McDonald's will like stop selling French fries altogether and just put officially meat cookies on the drive-through menu.
That's the dream right there. I didn't know it till you spoke it out loud, but that's the
We're going to put it out into the universe for you. Make it happen.
It's funny you mention our hometown, because since I started, 6 of my friends and my wife have done and are continuing to do it for the month of February. And one guy's actually going to push it through Lent. So,
and good job. Seriously, that's
you
amazing.
did it. I didn't do it.
Well, they've watched you live it. That's really cool.
They saw your episode.
So cool. All right, so we've talked poop, gas, weight changes.
Yep.
Any other things that you've noticed that you think people need to know about for their first month? Just picture you're talking to somebody who's about to try this. One of your friends is like, so what do I need to know?
What you need to know is, number one, have your wife or your girlfriend or your mom help you. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for us dudes to go out here and be creative.
Okay.
Okay. For me, number 2 is you're going to sleep better. I never really had a problem sleeping anyway, but I sleep so sound now. It's not as hard as people make it out to be. It's really not.
When you first said it, you were like, okay. Do you remember this moment you were, I have it on video. We could do a little flashback right now.
I'm going to try it for the month of February.
Okay.
Because I figured, well, then it's going to be a short month, so I kind of get to cheat a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And what's going on in the month of February? Nothing. Really.
No.
Valentine's Day,
Just-
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to keep going. I'll wait. I want to hear more. I'm not
Okay.
totally committed.
Okay.
But
No,
it's
that's all right.
coincidental that I needed my lab work done anyway. So I went today, and while I was sitting there, I was like, I think I'm going to do it. Just what the hell? I've done crazier for a month. Why not, or longer? Why not try this?
Okay.
So
You were like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I could do February. It is the shortest month.
It is the shortest
And then you
month.
go, oh, but it's leap year. You know?
That extra day, man.
I know. And you had this moment of, I don't know if I could make it a month. So now you've done it, and you say it really wasn't that bad.
No, it really wasn't. We had a lot of eggs, and we just get creative. Go to the forum. People will help you. They're very helpful.
Yeah.
And just, don't be told myself, don't be a mental midget. You can do this. There are people in the world who go through way harder stuff for more than 30 days. You can do it. So
I like that. I like that.
that's-
Also, Laura, if you haven't checked, Laura has like a month of eating, all these videos and things that you can watch on her channel of like a million different episodes, what she eats all the time. I am not good about posting stuff like that because mine's so repetitious. It really is. But yours is really good and gives me ideas.
I think that in the beginning, I used to have a lot more variety than I do now. And if I was home every day and could just cook at home every day, I would eat the same thing every day. But because I'm out and traveling and leftovers and stuff, I do mix it up more. But I think the longer that you do this, the less variety that you want. So when you see somebody who's been doing this for 12 years and it looks like they're eating burger patties, that doesn't mean that when you're new that's what you have to do. You can have as much. I ate the exact same thing yesterday and today, but I cooked it in 2 different ways, and it's 2 completely different, same meats, cooked 2 different ways, and it's 2 completely different flavors. So you can have as much variety as you want in the beginning, and keep it up forever. Just a lot of people naturally find that they want less variety the longer that they do this.
And I was just watching you this morning, Laura, on Instagram, and there's her Instagram right here. And she, I was watching you do your different cooking methods and your different meals. It is full of amazing meatiness. All right, a few tips as far as talking about people who are getting started. If you are going really, really, really often to the bathroom, it's either A, because you're just getting started, or B, you could have a little high fat too. Sometimes cutting back on the fat can help with that. And I think I may have said that on your show too. And if you're having trouble going not often enough, you may need to up your fat a little more. And I don't mean like eating sticks of butter necessarily. I mean like go get a really untrimmed ribeye and make sure you eat the fat on it, right? Do you find that to be true? Do you ever advise people that way, Laura?
Definitely. And I think a lot of people don't like the texture of the fat. And so it's hard to eat. Like, I don't even like that globby inner ribeye fat. I just cut it out and I'll crisp it up after I'm done eating the meat part, whether it's in a skillet or an air fryer. And then it gets nice, crunchy little fat bites. And that makes the texture so much better for me. And anybody who's having issues with the texture of fat, just like crisp it up. It's like meat candy. It's delicious.
Meat candy.
Meat candy. That's the next thing. All right. So thinking about things that newbies need to know, I'm going to ask you just a few questions.
Sure.
Did you drink coffee?
Yes, I'm a big coffee drinker. I drink at least a half a pot every day. But what I used to use was hazelnut creamer.
Yes.
Loved it.
Yeah.
So, but we went to the heavy whipping cream.
Oh, yeah.
So we use the heavy whipping cream, and sometimes I just drink it black. So no problem there.
Okay. Alcohol.
Yes, I drank no beer, but I did read somewhere where somehow or another whiskey is okay. So
Well, it's completely not sweet. You're not going to get carbohydrates or sweets from it.
No.
So I would say that if you're going to have a drink, that's probably about as zero carb as it's going to get, right?
Yep.
Whiskey.
So we did do that. But by the
Okay.
way, whiskey on the beach isn't good. So I wouldn't recommend
No.
that.
Okay. I have never tried that.
Don't.
Dairy.
Yes, we had dairy. We make our hamburger patties. I would put cheese on it.
Okay.
But just cheese in the food that we would eat. But yeah, I didn't drink any milk other than the heavy whipping cream.
Laura, you probably find this to be true. A lot of people starting out, they keep their cheese, right? And I think for the first several months, especially if it's not causing you any issues, you're losing 15 pounds, you're feeling great, right? Keep your cheese. At some point, you may decide to tweak it, right? Are you currently eating dairy, Laura?
I'm not, only because I ate way too much over Christmas and I noticed the scale going up and up and up. And so I had to cut it back out again, and then it just gradually drops down. I kept cheese in for a year until I was like looking at wanting to lose that last 20 pounds. And now I added in for, birthday treats or holidays or vacations, and kind of keep it as a special occasion food and not an everyday snacking thing.
I have to do the same, limited. But I would never recommend, and some people do, some of the hardcore carnivores, like, you got to go straight beef and water. But I feel like people are giving up so much in the beginning. Keep your cheese, people, if you want it, for heaven's sakes. And you're probably just going to enjoy the ride down on the scales anyway. Enjoy the ride with your cheese. And if at some point you're like, man, I really had some more weight to lose, or you're feeling like Laura was, then you can ditch it. There's time for that.
Yeah.
Right. So, Laura, you're probably you're not a snacker. Most carnivores are not a snacker.
I'm not, because I've had to break that habit though. And part of that is through having meal times. And I think when you're new, if you think you want to snack, just give it a minute and see if that's an emotional reason or if it's a physical hunger. And I just encourage people that instead of having a snack, go ahead and have a full meal, because then you're going to get your body on a regular cycle, because the more that you snack, the more your body is going to constantly be wanting these little doses of food. And so I eat once a day just because, for the most part, that's natural, right? According to the definition of fasting, you said, I'm not hungry until lunch every day. And so I just eat once a day for lunch. It's not like I'm starving. I woke up today really hungry, actually, because I didn't eat as much yesterday.
Chicken, right?
So I ate. Yeah. Like, I ate breakfast this morning because I didn't eat as much for lunch yesterday and I got hungry earlier. That doesn't happen very often. But I think, though, if you're going to eat, having a snack is only going to cause you to need more snacks. And so my suggestion usually is just have a full meal if you're really hungry, so that you can get your body used to just getting what it needs out of a meal and not needing to eat every 2 hours like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is excellent advice. And sometimes I am one that's known for saying, I'm not into fasting. And then people find out when I eat.
Yeah.
I honestly never even counted, but I'm typically done having my dinner by 6:00 at night, because I eat with my kids. And then I do not eat until the next day when I have lunch break at school, and my lunch is at 11:20. So I counted. I was like, oh, that actually is a really long time. But I still consider myself not doing fasting, because I'm not like, oh, I can't eat till 11:20. I'm literally just eat so much that I'm not hungry. And I think that's an important distinction. And I would rather a new carnivore, you eat 10 times a day if it helps you to stick to it. But I truly think what Laura is saying is really important. eat a full meal.
Yeah.
And then forget about food for a while because you're so full. Go live life. And then when you're hungry, you probably need a full meal. And if you think, but I don't want a full meal, okay, then you give it a minute, right? Because you're probably not even really hungry. And if you don't want a big pile of meat, you're not hungry. You just need to go do something. You're bored.
And that's where I'm trying to distinguish the emotional food reasons to the physical hunger. So sometimes I do just try to go for a walk or do something for half an hour to see, is it really hungry, or is it just that I'm watching TV and I'm bored and I want to munch on something? So I just got to change up that habit.
I think that is very smart. And if you do mess up and you accidentally eat meat when you weren't really hungry, big whoop. You ate meat. It's not like you ate a bag of Hershey Kisses, right? There are worse things that could happen than accidentally eating meat when you weren't hungry. But I do think our bodies do really well eating big meals, going long amounts of time, and then when your body says you're hungry, eat another big meal and go long amounts of time. All right, what did you drink this month other than alcohol?
Coffee, water, seltzer water, and I drank a lot of unsweet tea. And I also started drinking hot tea at night.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why, but instead of having a cup of coffee, I was drinking tea, hot tea.
I'm really proud of you. I'm telling you, I did not think you were going to be able to do this.
I told you I was going to do it.
I know. And you said the best thing somebody could do would be to say, you can't do it.
That's it.
And I was thinking, well, I'm not even fronting right now. I don't know that you can. I don't think you can do it, but you've surprised me. All right, the big question. I don't know if you're wondering this, Laura, but I definitely am. Are you going to stick with it, or are we done with this?
I will actually probably stick with it. Will I be a carnivore for 10 or 12 years? I don't know. But I can confidently tell you that I will be a carnivore tomorrow and the next week. And we'll just take it from there.
I think that's a really good answer because it kind of worries me, Laura, when people become carnivore and then they declare to the world, I'm only going to eat meat forever. And I think mentally, number one, you're just freaking out the universe. You're going to scare everybody you know because they don't know everything that we know. They haven't watched all of our podcasts, Laura. They don't know the things that we know. So they're going to panic. And then the second thing you're doing is I think you would mentally be setting yourself up to feel like I will never have this again. I will never have a chip again. And I think that really plays with people's heads.
For sure.
And so if you can think, well, is it going to be a challenge for you to be a carnivore for lunch today?
No.
No. Okay, so be a carnivore for lunch today. Is it going to be a challenge to be a carnivore at dinner? Maybe not. So I think people need to just take it. Just calm down. Take it a meal at a time. I feel very committed in saying that I'm not going to tomorrow go back to my old way.
Right.
You know, I don't feel challenged in declaring carnivore for life anymore, but I did in the beginning.
Sure. And I think if everybody just takes it one day at a time, one meal at a time, especially you as the beginners in trying this, it's going to be a lot easier. And look at the recipes. My wife made the Alfredo sauce that was carnivore friendly, and we put it on our seafood, scallops and shrimp. And it was
She needs a channel or a blog or something to start sharing all these recipes she came up with.
I will tell her.
Tell her that.
And she'll share them with you too.
Okay,
I'll send it to you.
Do that. I should have her on my show.
You
She
should.
should come over and cook something for me.
She's clearly the brains behind the operation.
Maybe, Kristen, I should have had you to come onto the show.
She said no, go do it. But I'm telling you, without her though,
Just kidding.
I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have made it the month. I don't think so.
I'm the same way without my husband. I don't think I could have stuck to it this long. That's Kelly. You're a unicorn because I don't know how you do it with your husband being different or eating normal foods.
Well, he's just so darn cute. I stick with him.
Yeah.
That's all that is. I know. I made him. He wanted a frozen pizza a couple days ago, so I made it for him. But it doesn't bother me anymore. I'll tell you, in the beginning, it kind of did. You know, watching some of my old favorite dishes come out, and here I am serving them. Here, honey.
Yeah.
Well, this is sad.
That made me think of something. So we went to dinner with some friends one night. We went to a restaurant bar, and they brought out all the chili cheese fries and all this other stuff. And that was it was tough. However, we stuck to it. We ordered naked chicken wings.
Yep.
We ate the chicken wings, and we had some other meat. I think we split a salmon or something like that. But if you go to dinner, just don't have the first bite. Don't say a chip of that is going to be fine, because I feel like if you do that, now you're going to let yourself continue to cheat, and then it's going to lead, and then you're just going to be back to eating how you normally would eat.
Yep.
Wise words.
Yep. And my husband always says too, like, first rule of Carnivore Club is don't talk about it. Don't talk about Carnivore Club, right? If you were at that dinner and none of your friends knew that you were strict carnivore, eating only meat forever, and you just ordered wings and some kebabs or something, they probably wouldn't have even noticed that you weren't eating all the cheese fries and all the other stuff. It's people don't even notice this kind of stuff, and they're not going to talk you out of it or get all crazy about it if you're not talking about it in the first place. And like Kelly said, you're not going to put all this pressure on yourself to go carnivore forever. You're just eating meat for this meal to see how you feel tomorrow. And don't put so much pressure on yourself by talking about it all the time, unless you have a YouTube channel or a podcast or, you know, an Instagram.
And some people just love putting all their stuff out there. And if you love it, you know, go ahead, put it out there. But I have seen it not go well for some folks. You know, where
I didn't talk about it. I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I'd lost 120 pounds before I posted one single picture. I could not have, you know, done it the whole way, talking about it the whole time. So I needed to have my own journey internally and privately before I was able to talk about it.
I think that's smart. All right, guys, maybe you and your wife should come back. That's what it should be. Give it a couple months.
Yeah.
Come back, see how it's going. Oh, when you mentioned blood work, so Laura, he told me on that podcast, he said, you know, I think I'm going to do it for a month and then go get my blood work done. And you know the reaction. I was like, no, do not do that. Do not do that. And he's like,
you'll get scared.
It's terrible. You go at the 1 month mark, your whole body is just spazzing out. You may not feel spazzed out.
Nope.
But your cholesterol numbers are I'm telling the truth. You're spazzed out inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was up. It's elevated.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I'm going to die.
Yes.
But guess what? My doctor called me. He's not freaked out, so I'm not freaked out.
Okay. You got a good doctor, because some freak out and just start shoveling statins down your throat.
Not doing it.
But at the 6 month mark, I think most people's blood work, it's like it climbs. People panic, and then they go at the 6 month or 1 year mark, and suddenly it's like the waters are calm. Everything is good. The numbers are normal. So, you know, I don't recommend it at the 1 month mark, but you even survived that.
I survived.
I'm impressed. Laura, thank you for coming onto this show and helping me and Brandon to talk through a beginner's guide. I hope the other few people on this earth who aren't already watching your channels, go and watch her right now, folks, because she is awesome. And if you guys have not listened to Appetite for Discussion, there's the full shirt right there. You should go and chime in. Brandon says he's going to be talking more about the carnivore diet and maybe even having some more carnivore guests. Should ask Laura. You know, she's pretty awesome and agrees to come on even really tiny channels. So anyway, you already, I'm sure, have subscribed to Laura's channel because she is amazing. And if you haven't subscribed to mine, for Pete's sakes, just go do it now. Also, I'm excited because this coming Saturday at my house, Laura Spath is coming over to hang out. It's going to be me, Laura, go ahead, you can be jealous, Judy Cho from Nutrition with Judy, Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, who was a guest on my show recently. You should stop by and say hello. For real, bring your wife. Would it be okay if he just stopped by with his wife?
Bring your own steaks. Other than that, you're good.
No, I'll throw one extra on the grill for you.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for this show. I loved it. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.